Ella, Aina Sequalawan Kawanas I Lamnala. We respectfully acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded lands of the Coast Salish people, where we live, learn, and play. Moving to adoption of the agenda. Before we do that, could I ask you to add new items? 12.B, pride flag, and 9.G, Vista AGM. Could I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Moved by Trustee Thorne, seconded by Trustee DeGroot. All those in favor? Let me try that again. Thank you. Motion passes. Moving to minutes of the April 2nd, 2019 open board meeting. Motion to adopt the minutes. Moved by Trustee Doman, seconded by Trustee Thorne. All those in favor? Motion carries. And moving to the best part of our meetings, as always, the recognition area. So the first area is the recognition of skills competition: gold in cabinet making and collision repair, and bronze in gravity cars and wind turbine. The medal winners, and I'll pass to Trustee Croft to do the honors.
Thank you very much. We're very fortunate to have a community and our teachers and administrators and super talented students who are just killing it at the competition level in skills and trades. So, I'm going to follow my notes here. The script is the wrong size, so give me a minute. Okay. So, the Board of Education would like to recognize Miles Brooks. Miles, are you here? Miles is a career ed coach and open school student who won gold in cabinet making at this year's Skills Canada BC provincial competition. And he qualified to compete at the Nationals later this month. I predict you're traveling in the future. Miles is currently in cabinet making, youth train, and is a youth apprentice at Bavarian Cabinets. So no thanks to Bavarian Cabinets for getting Miles to this level of excellence. We congratulate you, Miles, and we wish you luck as you represent our district at the national levels. Way to go.
Can you let them know that I need two cabinets?
Okay. Yes, there we go. Now, our next gentleman, our next student, unfortunately can't be here today, but I would like to share with you his success. And this is Ben Miller, Skills Canada Provincial Gold Medalist in Collision Repair. Just saying, good guy to know, right? Just in case. We would like to recognize Ben, a Cowichan secondary student who won gold at collision repair at this year's Skills Canada BC provincial competition and qualified to compete at the upcoming Nationals in Halifax. Ben recently completed his youth train welding C ticket and is a youth apprentice at Crawford, am I saying that right? Crawford Auto for automotive service. Of note, Ben has been coached by Isherwood Auto Body for collision repairs a few days a week since December to prepare him for net provincials and nationals. And we are so blessed to have such a committed community. We congratulate Ben and we wish him all the best as he represents our district later this month in Halifax. So, okay, lovely. Next, we're going to recognize some grade 7 students from Lake Cowichan School. Now, not everybody could be here, but we're going to, of course, include her here. Oh, you are all here. Oh, I'm so sorry. Too many changes last minute. Okay. The Board of Education would like to recognize Melissa Bell. Come on up here, Melissa. This is the winning vehicle?
No, it was him.
Oh, okay. All right.
And what's your name? Dylan.
Hi, Dylan. Come on up here. Dylan Dylan. So now you're out of order, so just give me a second to recoup here. So we have Melissa Bell and Dylan Swatsky, and we also need Owen. Owen, come on up here. Okay, Owen Cheryl, I'm saying that right, okay. And Braden Nippelberg. Braden, you're here? Awesome, okay. So these grade 7 students won bronze medals in BC Provincial Gravity Cars.
Looking this way, guys.
If you ever have an opportunity to go to the gravity car races, I really encourage you to go. I have to tell you, the last minute competition, and they do a runoff, and there are ties in the end, and you'll be it's time well spent. So thank you very much for making all that happen. In this challenge, students worked as a team with 2 to 4 other students to design and build gravity vehicles. So there we go, we got this one, is that sort of a space theme?
Yeah, that's a joke because it's the gravity car and zero gravity.
And you went with the really narrow wheels.
Yeah.
Does that make it go faster?
Yes.
Sort of. Here we are, sorry. Vehicles were judged by how fast they traveled on a track that is 32 feet long. Congratulations to Melissa, Owen, Braden, and Dylan, who had to win gold at the Mid-Islands in order to advance to the provincials, where they won bronze in gravity cars. We're super proud of you guys. Congratulations. Here we go. Owen. Thank you. Congratulations. And Braden. I'm not too sure how. All has to go in order here. And Dylan. Congratulations. Okay, next we're going to honor the grade 7 students from Bench Elementary, Skills Canada Provincial Bronze Medalists in wind turbine. The Board of Education would like to recognize Adam McCoo. Adam? Bennett Stone. Bennett? Sorry, folks. And Jack Isherwood. Am I saying that right, Jack?
You are, he's not
Oh,
up
you
here,
couldn't make
so,
it? That's too bad. But he's awesome, right?
He's awesome.
He's awesome. The Board of Education would like to recognize Adam Bennett and Jack, grade 7 students from Bench Elementary who won bronze in a wind turbine at this year's Skills Canada provincial competition held in April at the Tradex in Abbotsford. Is that like a super big building?
Yes.
You feel like you're gonna get lost? Yeah. I got lost. In this challenge, students were given materials to construct a model wind turbine and had approximately 4 hours of building time at the competition site. Only design sketches and blueprints could be brought to the competition. The model wind turbine had to be solidly constructed and able to generate electrical power, which was then measured. Wind simulation was created by a fan situated at a measured distance from the wind turbine being not the wind turbine, just so you know. Model wind turbines were judged by their voltage generating capacity, with the turbine that produced the most energy declared the winner. You guys know what all this means? I'm a little out of my details. So you actually built something in 4 hours that generated electricity, just kind of off the cuff. We may have tasks for you in the future. Congratulations to Adam, Bennett, and Jack, who had to win gold at the Mid-Islands in order to advance to provincials, where they won bronze wind turbine. We're super proud. Thank you very much. Whoops, there we go. Glad you could come. Big round for all of our
Thank you, Trustee Croft, and moving to item B, calling on Trustee DeGroot.
Sorry.
Pardon?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, we all know how much Candace does for the district, organizing meetings, attending meetings, working with us and the community to provide the best outcomes possible for kids. What many may not know is what she's done at the island and provincial level. She has served as the chair of the BC School Trustees Association Indigenous Education Committee. She has served as the vice president of the Vancouver Island School Trustees Association. And so it comes as no surprise that she was recently elected by uncontested, the president of the Vancouver Island School Trustees Association. VISTA, which has at its membership more school districts than any other in the province, that's 12 districts in the entire island. It is a huge undertaking, but we know that she will do a fantastic job here as well. Congratulations, Candace.
Thank you very much, Trustee. Thank you. All right, moving to item C, which is recognition of Lisa Reed. Lisa, would you like to come up? Yes. And I too have been given great notes for you. Uh-oh. No, they're all good. I've screened them out.
Okay,
I've screened them out. Lisa has been accepted into the Apple Distinguished Educators Program. This program links a network of forward-thinking educators around the world who collaborate together to support deeper student learning. In 1994, Apple created the Apple Distinguished Educators, ADE, program to recognize K-12 and higher education pioneers who were using Apple technology to transform teaching and learning. These are the educators who are looking to change the world. They are active leaders from around the world, helping other educators rethink what's possible with iPad and Mac to make learning deeply personal for every student. ADEs are trusted advisors. They are experts on the realities of integrating technology into learning environments, and they work closely with Apple to foster innovation in education. ADEs are passionate advocates. ADEs share their expertise in using technology to help engage students in new ways with other educators around the globe. ADEs are global ambassadors. ADEs work together to develop and promote powerful ideas for improving teaching and learning worldwide. There are 2,447 ADEs worldwide across 45 countries, and we're very proud that we have one of them, Lisa Reed, in our district. Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Thanks. That I know the time is short and I don't usually talk really quickly, so I will just say it has absolutely been my honor. This is my 27th year, I think, with School District 79. It's absolutely my honor to serve in this way, and the recognition is just gravy. I love what I do, so thank you. Thank you.
And item D is recognition of Rhonda Gary Smith, our district psychologist. Rhonda, there you are, okay. So you do have notes. Oh, no. So Rhonda, a School District 79 school psychologist, has been invited to present her paper titled Transdisciplinary Inquiry as a Dual-Purpose Approach, Facilitating Both Educator and Student Learning at the International School Psychology Association's Conference, July 9th to 12th in Basel, Switzerland. Rhonda is currently completing her PhD in Curriculum and Instruction at the University of Victoria and as part of that degree, recently conducted a research project in School District 79 and is in the process of writing the dissertation. Rhonda's goal was to examine how a transdisciplinary group could be utilized for a dual purpose. She wanted to see how a diverse group of educators could come together, determine an area of inquiry, and create and implement activities and/or lessons within a classroom that addresses this area of interest. At the same time, she wanted to see if this transdisciplinary inquiry process could be used as a means of professional learning by encouraging educators with diverse views to purposefully reflect and converse about their own learning. Quite a task. In addition to presenting her paper, she will be attending the ISPA conference and will be able to hear about what school psychologists all over the world are doing. Congratulations, Rhonda, on being selected to present your research papers before your peers. We're proud of the work that you do and your dedication to our students. Thank you. You'd like to say something?
Just that I feel so honored to be able to work in such a lovely place with the wonderful people, the transdisciplinary group of educators that I worked with put lots of time and effort in, and our children are so deserving of it. So it's just my pleasure, and thank you all for recognizing it.
Thank you. And under me is a delegation from the International Student Program. And I see Principal Ms. Gamble is here. Would you like to come forward and your students and do your presentation? Ah, the students are presenting, even better. Yes, sorry.
Honored Chair Spilsbury and members of the board, good afternoon. My name is Jeremy.
And I'm Yo-Yo.
We are international students from Cowichan Secondary School. Today, it is our honor to represent the Cowichan Valley and our international student program.
Our aim is twofold. We would like to introduce the upcoming Mini Olympic track meet and highlight our Starfish Backpack program. Next Friday, May 17th, the international program will be holding the 5th annual Mini Olympic track meet. The special meet event creates an opportunity for children who have special needs to enjoy a variety of sports like a normal child.
In our country, it is a luxury for special needs children to have extra assistance. Each society have a very large population, which means that they do not have the opportunities that Canadian children with special needs experienced can have.
However, in the past 3 years that we have studied in Canada, we found that there is a huge opportunity for equal treatment for disabled children. This allows these children to have the same study environment and living conditions as a regular child. This is amazing.
Every year, students from international program, along with some retired teachers, contribute a huge effort to the Mini O track meet. The volunteers provide the joy of sports to all disabled students in our school district. Therefore, we take pleasure in inviting you to witness this amazing track meet on Friday, May 17th. Come and cheer on these great souls.
There is another program that we are extremely proud of and would like to highlight. The Starfish Backpack program was created in response to students suffering in our own community. There were more than 400 children going hungry on weekends in the Cowichan Valley.
Every week, the Starfish Backpack program fills reused bags with food and gives them to children who desperately need it. Now, there's more than 300 children supported by this program. How exciting! These food bags allow these children to make it through the weekend without going hungry. Our international program heard their voices and acted. We have organized different events and gathered donations to support these needed children. Such events were clothing sales, talent shows, the phone box plan, and the GuardMe medical insurance.
At $6 per backpack, this is an impressive amount of money to support this worthwhile cause. We were able to help even more children this year through these difficult times. Now, it is with great honor that we would like to present a check in the amount of $5,000 to Starfish Backpack Program.
Well, they would like to invite the members of Nourish Coalition to receive this check from ISP Coalition.
Wow.
Thank you.
That is amazing.
That's
Thank
10
you.
children for the full school year.
Yeah.
You know, that's amazing. Amazing work. Thank you very much for doing this.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And thank you for presenting here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I hope to see you at Mini Olympic track meet.
Well, I hate to tell you, but I think we have to go back to the rest of our agenda. If the students would like to stay, you're more than welcome. If you'd like to leave at this point, you're welcome to do that as well. Thank
Open that door. Thank you.
Thank you for the reminder. Okay, if we could reconvene then, we are at item 5, which is report of closed meeting. Mr. Sandquist.
Thank you. The board met in closed session prior to this opening. There were multiple personnel and facility items discussed, including entering into the disposal consultation process for the Old Crofton Elementary School.
Thank you. Moving to item 6, old business, action list on page 11. So, as you know, the first item we have been working through, we have now met with the regional district and the municipality of North Cowichan, and our meeting with City of Duncan comes up on Monday at 4 o'clock here. And Lake Cowichan and our board is still trying to determine a date. The item at the bottom there, Shemina Secondary School, is on our agenda tonight, as well as the next page, the sex health education report is tonight as well. And the vaping community awareness meeting, our first meeting with the contact people, is this Friday, May 10th at 4 o'clock, and all trustees are invited to attend. Anything further on the action list? Moving back to the agenda, Superintendent of Schools.
Thank you. Today we have Jessie Sargent here. She is, if you wouldn't mind standing up, Jessie, I'd like to introduce you. Jessie has been appointed as a temporary vice principal at Cobble Hill Elementary. She began on April the 16th, and she is in that appointment until July the 5th. Jessie has been a teacher at Cobble Hill Elementary since 2013, and a French immersion teacher in the district since 2003. And she has taught at Ecole Mill Bay, Elsie Miles, and Duncan Elementary Schools. And I know that if I could maybe say that along the learning curve that I know that is a part of what you're doing, we thank you so much for your time and taking on this challenging, beautiful assignment, Jessie.
Thank you so much for welcoming me. I'm so proud and honored to be a part of the administrative team for Cowichan District. So thank you for inviting me tonight.
Thank you, Jessie.
Thank you, and on behalf of the board, Jessie, thank you for taking the assignment, and we look forward to your administrative future.
Thank you.
Back to Superintendent.
Okay. I just want to start by saying, my goodness, the work that this district is doing is large, is wide, is exciting. The acknowledgements and the recognition of the students, as we saw tonight, is just so many things are going on. I would know in the month of April, it has been extreme. So I have a long list of things to talk about tonight. And of course, that list has been developed very well by somebody who has helped me. But I want to just really start by firstly saying that in my new role, I have been visiting schools. Frankly, I haven't got to all of them, but we are scheduling them into my calendar at this time because as the days go on, there's always something to do. On April the 8th, we had a non-instructional day at Somino House, and I know that Claire's going to bring up a photo of that event. I think I talked about that at our last meeting. It was a beautiful learning day around Indigenous learning and being welcomed in the Sacred House of Learning of the Cowichan tribes. And what a beautiful opportunity it was on that day. And as we all know, one of the ministry directives would really be around Indigenous learning and working toward the success of all of our Aboriginal learners. On April the 24th, we had our first planning meeting for next year's school district grade 12 barbecue gathering that will be held in the fall. And so we had a number of the students who attended that meeting, and they are very excited. We had a representative from most of the schools, and we will meet again in June. So we will be looking at those activities, and that whole process is to bring all of our grade 12 students together and really showcase who they are within this community. And also it is at the VIU campus, and so it's kind of their start to post-secondary education as well. Let's see, on April the 25th, I attended the BCSSA new superintendent session in Vancouver, and then the day after that, I joined trustees along with our secretary treasurer to attend the BCSTA AGM. And then last week, we had our third Deeper Learning Dozen convening, which was hosted by our district. And there's a number of pictures I think that Claire is going to bring up there. But this is our partnership with 11 other districts that include 3 from the province of BC, California, Vermont, Boston. And so it was a profound learning experience for us, not only us, but I think from the many districts who attended as well. They received the great hosts of Cowichan Valley. Many of our community members supported that event. And I think it was deep and profound for many of them who wouldn't understand our traditions and our practices, particularly around our learning, our beautiful learning environment. And as you can see from the photos up there, we had a 7 a.m. canoe outing outside of Cow Bay, and many people participated. In fact, I think there were 2 large canoes, and there were about 16 people in those canoes, and we learned the process of balance, and that you have to work as a team together in order to not tip over the canoe. So it was really a profound experience for all. Also, many of our staffs took, on May the 2nd, they convened and participated in the Shelley Moore session, the 3rd session on Shelley Moore coming in and talking about inclusive education. And they'll be looking at competency-based IEPs for the future, and we'll be working toward that. And then, of course, last Friday on May the 3rd, We had a non-instructional day that I was able to attend with the principals and vice principals, and I do want to acknowledge that they were working on difficult conversations, and it was a wonderful day with the principals and vice principals, and from my observation, very well connected, they work as a team, and I was glad to be invited. So that would be the things around the district, and then I'm going to move on to the many things that are happening at the schools, and I know that Claire will bring up some photos while we go through that. We had the District Young Authors Conference, and here on April the 23rd we had 102 grades, 5 to 12 students, and 7 published authors participating in the biannual Cowichan Valley School District Young Authors Conference held at the Chemainus Theatre. I guess this is an ever popular event, and it's available to any grade 5 through 12 students across the district. And to be selected, the young authors have to submit writing samples at their schools. And from there, the 100 or so students are selected and able to participate firsthand in this fantastic event. The grades 10 through 12 students attended an in-depth full-day seminar with one author, and the students thoroughly enjoyed the experience, and our guest authors were incredibly impressed with the quality of the writing and creative thinking that students demonstrated. So this week we have the Métis Cultural Week, right now from May 6th to the 10th. So if anyone wanted to participate in the morning from 9:30 to 1:30, yesterday, May 6th, Chemainus Elementary had the Métis Cultural Week, event. May 7th is Crofton. May 8th is Ecole Mont Prevost. May 9th is Maple Bay. And May the 10th is George Bonner. Tomorrow morning, myself, along with Trustee Kemmler, and possibly our Secretary-Treasurer, we will be participating in the Rotary Club Duncan Spelling Bee for Literacy. So the wannabes, I guess that's what we're called, we will be competing in the spelling bee, and it is for literacy, and so we look forward to that, and I'm certain with the students' help that we will do very well in our spelling bee.
Trustee Kemmler is a great speller. I know. Trustee Hutchins?
Do you get the words in advance, or is it just?
No. I don't believe so. You do?
No,
I didn't think so. No.
No pressure.
So there is some pressure, so I think that, for some of us, we might want to be a little bit competitive around it, but it's a beautiful breakfast, and thank you, Trustee Kemmler, for volunteering to represent the board.
Okay. Can I just add one little thing? I don't think they've ever won, so.
Oh, the pressure's off.
They haven't won, no, in the past.
So we look forward to that. That'll be a great event. And then, of course, as you know, as presented by the international students, we have the Mini O Elementary Track Meet, which is being held on Friday, May 17th from 9:30 to 1 o'clock at the Cowichan Sportsplex. This is a great opportunity for all elementary students in grades 3 to 7 with a special education designation and with EA support to put on their school jersey and to participate in the joy of competition with their peers and to have a fantastic day together. So I look very much forward to that. As you know, District Scholarship Week is coming up from May 13th to the 17th, and there's a number of, at each school from Monday, May the 13th through May the 17th. These presentations are being held at those school sites, and these scholarships are offered by the BC Ministry of Education to recognize graduating BC students for excellence in their chosen area of interest and strength, and are intended to help students pursue post-secondary education. The students will be judged on their achievement in an area of non-academic study, commitment to it, and general proficiency in other subject areas. And at any time, if you have any questions, you can certainly please stop. We also have the Transportation Department Kindergarten Open Houses. So the Transportation Department will be hosting open houses on May the 14th from 3:30 to 5:30 at Francis Kelsey, and on May the 15th from 3:30 to 5:30 at the school board office. All families and students new to busing are welcome to attend either of the transportation open houses, and buses will be available for all students and parents to tour, and staff will be on hand to help with new registrations. So what a great opportunity, and I just think that's such a great opportunity for kindergartners who are new to busing to participate in that event. Then we have the Youth Action Day Leadership Conference on May the 15th at Quamachin, and this is the annual Youth Action Day, and it's being hosted at Quamachin School on May the 15th from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. This is Action Day for youth by youth. So through the Compassionate Leaders Project of the Cowichan Intercultural Society, the student planning team has worked hard to organize this event and has a target of having 250 student delegates attend from secondary schools in the Cowichan region. There will be an MC, keynote speakers, a musical guest, free lunch, and participating students are able to pick up 2 workshops to attend. We want to thank the Cowichan Intercultural Society Compassionate Leaders Project, the student planning team, and the community partners providing this opportunity for our grades 8 to 12 students again this year. So we have some leaders in the making there. Then moving on to some of our west end schools. Lake Cowichan School, they had the mock crash scene. You can see it up there. And so I think when I first looked at it on Twitter, it got me worried, frankly. And then I had to realize and read further to see what was happening. So on April the 19th, secondary schools at Lake Cowichan experienced a very true-to-life mock crash as part of the ICBC's educational outreach program. This very realistic mock crash scene was part of an afternoon-long presentation and demonstration aimed at promoting safe choices around driving practices. The students received a brief talk. They were led outside to the scene of the collision, and partners from Lake Cowichan St. John Ambulance, BC Yukon, Town of Lake Cowichan Fire Department, BC Ambulance Service, and Lake Cowichan RCMP all participated and tended to the multiple victims, even performing an extraction on the trapped driver from the second vehicle. The realistic scene required participation from the audience, and students were asked to help comfort the injured and perform basic first aid. And as the police investigation unfolded, students were asked to provide witness accounts. After the crash scene was stabilized, students returned to the gymnasium to continue the conversation with other presenters. And I think that we have somebody in the room that we need to thank graciously, who is our very own Monroe Grove, who was one of the responding firefighters. So thank you, Monroe. And at Paulson Elementary, we have the Ready, Set, Learn. It was held on April the 17th. It's a free drop-in educational and health fair for children aged 2 to 5 and their families. This community-driven early years program exposes our pre-kindergarten students and their parents to all the wonderful things they'll get to experience as their school years come closer. It's a large group of community partners who come to chat with parents and young ones about the myriad of programs. And Ready, Set, Learn was also held in the other zones of the school district during April and early May, which included Chemainus Elementary, Shawnigan Lake Community Center, and Duncan Community Lodge. So moving on to our north schools, it's impressive the number of things that are happening within our schools and the work that the staff is doing. So at Crofton Elementary, learners at Crofton Elementary, they gathered at Starking Creek on April the 18th to release the chum salmon they've been raising over the last few months. The salmon came to the students as eggs as part of the Fisheries and the Oceans Canada Salmonids in the classroom program, which has been running for over 35 years in BC and Yukon. Then at the Penelakut Elementary School, students and the community from around Chemainus, Ladysmith, and Thetis Island area were invited guests of the Penelakut Island Elementary students as they opened up Raven and Stellar's J Trail on April the 24th. This beautiful student-built trail peacefully winds its way through the traditional lands of the Penelakut peoples and serves as a way to reconnect to their traditional ways. And I know that Chemainus Secondary at Min were able to attend, and I know that Mike was able to attend as well, Mike Russell, and what a beautiful opportunity that would have been. So moving on to our south schools, Ecole Cobble Hill They hosted the annual District French Public Speaking Contest. Now this is an annual event. Finalists from grades 5 to 7 from our two French immersion elementary schools were selected to present in front of all of the grade 5 to 7 students from both École Cobble Hill and École Montprevost. A panel of outside Francophone judges attended and evaluated the presenters based on the criteria given to us by the Canadian Parents for French. And the winners from grade 6 and 7 categories are now going on to represent the Cowichan Valley School District in Vancouver in May at the Provincials. Congratulations to all the students. I happened to be there, and frankly, I couldn't follow a word that they were saying. However, I could tell they did a beautiful job while they were speaking French in their competition. Moving on to George Bonner Elementary. They are working on the Great Canadian Shoreline Cleanup. Students from George Bonner picked up hundreds of pieces of trash in the Shawnigan Creek area on April the 25th. The students were out in force taking part in the school's annual Great Shoreline Cleanup, gathering garbage, taking trash, and even carrying a couch out of this well-used and well-loved area. And lastly, a couple items from our central schools. Maple Bay Elementary have begun the Stream of Dreams with some PAC involvement. Took place on April the 16th. The Maple Bay Elementary PAC volunteers attached east salmon to the mural, and small salmon are being raised in the school for release to local streams very, very soon. Lastly, Maple Bay Elementary, the Plastic Bag Grab Challenge. Maple Bay Elementary School was involved in a plastic bag grab challenge, and over the course of 2 weeks they collected 1,740 plastic bags, which will be dropped off at the local Walmart. This is a challenge that schools from across Canada participate in, and this sparked the school's ongoing conversation about environmental stewardship. As a result, next year Maple Bay Elementary is working towards minimal garbage in the school, pack in, pack out, and has challenged another elementary school to do the same. And that is my update on the many fantastic things that are occurring in this school district.
And that is true. Many, many, many activities that are wonderful, both for education and traditional sense, plus education around the environment, community, those life skills. It's wonderful. Thank you.
All right.
Moving to your briefing point note on Chemainus Secondary School transition, and it's page 13.
All right, so the background, this was a board motion that came up from the February 27th special open board meeting, and it requested that staff consult with the staff of the 3 schools to develop a plan for the board's consideration to mitigate any transition or community concerns that may include a number of things from items A through 7. And so there has been a great discussion by the schools and the staff and the community. And so you can see here that the following plan has been developed, but I'd like to suggest that some of the details of the plan may be adjusted accordingly as time moves on, because as we work toward a certain end, at times we need to revise them according to more input or more information that comes to be. So you can see that there are a number of facilities that will be used and taken over by our grade 7s, and that there has been designated work done on a number of areas, from different rooms and moving on from bottle filling stations and all the things that we deem important for our grade 7 transition to Chemainus Secondary School. And I think that it also includes staffing, so it's really outlined in this report here that we'll be looking at staffing in terms of a new supervisor, how do we work toward improving the supports for all of our learners who are moving and transitioning at the grade 7 level. I think that they have done an excellent job around that consultation process. Currently, right now, the transitions are happening day by day. I know that they are doing separate transitions for the grade 6 students and doing also a separate grade 7 transition. So there's a number of things that are happening over at Chemainus Secondary. I was able to speak with both the principal and the vice principal last evening. And it just goes on the month of May for them in terms of supporting the learners as they move forward. And then you can see that there's a number of elementary year-end activities that they are planning to support students working together, coming together. And not only do they have the traditional grade 7s, but they have also had to add in some of the other opportunities for our grade 6 learners as well. We have been able to assign budgets to this process, and so you can see that we've broken it down and wanted to ensure the board that we are certainly working with all parties involved so that the kids can have the best opportunities available to them when they get there in September.
Thank you. Questions, Trustee Croft and then Trustee Hutchins.
Thank you. So just going to the elementary year-end activities, it says that it's been allocated in 2019-2020 budget. But does that cover year-end in June?
It would, yes,
It will?
it
Okay.
would. We would absolutely support the school in
Yeah.
making sure that happened for kids. It will be usually and often those would be fundraising activities
Yeah.
that would occur by our grade 7s, and they might have even started in grade 6 and then they would have had it in
Yeah.
grade 7 and then they would go from there. But we do know that those things are very, very important, those year-end transitions, and so we will absolutely be supporting that.
Follow-up, sorry, just to be specific, so we'll be supplementing those costs, the
Yes.
trains and costs for the kids who are moving? Thanks.
Absolutely, and especially, yes, absolutely, we'll be supporting those costs.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Hutchins?
Yeah, I just want to compliment staff for the comprehensive transition plan. It, I believe it honors the concerns, mitigates many of the concerns that the parents brought up at those 3 public meetings. So congratulations and thanks, and hopefully we have a smooth transition at the end of the day.
Thank you. Anything further on this topic? Trustee Croft?
Just one question and follow up with Trustee Hutchinson, but yes, thank you very much, it's a wonderful plan. And I hope that if there's anything that the trustees can do to support it, would you please let us know?
Absolutely will, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to 7.2.3, sexual health curriculum delivery in schools. Superintendent.
All right. So I believe that this, again, was I'm just gonna put my glasses on. That the staff was requested to provide a detailed report on the status of sexual health education. Now, this is a particular curricular area that would, that probably has needed to have some support as it has come into be around the curricular areas. Before, I think in the past, before the new curriculum was enacted, that maybe some of our staff maybe felt uncomfortable in delivering this curricular area. So I know that what we've been doing here has been that we've been supporting, we've been building capacity around their ability to deliver this curriculum. And so you can see that there's, we've documented in terms of what's expected around the curricular area. And I think in particular, when you think of physical health education, it's traditionally not an area that our PE teachers from the past would have actually delivered. But now that it is actually physical health education, I know that we are working toward building their capacity. And we also know that we have a variety of resources that many of our teachers have here, and you can see in maybe the middle of page 17 that there is a number of resources that are available for our teachers, and we know that our coordinators and our helping teachers are helping to build that capacity. And so we also know that our union partners are also very supportive of encouraging our teachers to actually deliver on that curriculum. And so as we move toward that end goal, you can see from the summary here is that we're going to continue to support, we're going to continue to build our capacity, and that it's very clear that it is the responsibility of our educators who are teaching K-10 in terms of being able to provide that curriculum. But it also, I know, does discuss that at times we do use some supports from the community. And I think that that's part of building that professional capacity within our teachers, because as we have maybe some experts and some community partners who come in to support our teachers to deliver on that curriculum, it's also quite expected that we would also want these teachers to become very adept at actually delivering on the curriculum themselves.
Thank you. Any questions for Trustee Croft?
It might be a little early for this question, but so one of the key reasons to start on this journey was that DPAC felt that as much as they would like to support everyone, they were putting an inordinate amount, too much on balance, too many funds into bringing in presenters. Do we know yet if this will specifically help with that, and what kind of timelines maybe are we looking at for teachers to maybe be more active in presenting this?
Well, and I think that when we think about DPAC funds, we know they are not to be focused on the curricular areas, okay, that it's really there to enhance, it's there to amplify, it's there to support, and I think that we definitely need to be moving toward around a bit of a scope and sequence about when do we use community partners, when do we need community partners, and from an educational perspective, from a senior team level, we probably need to be looking at how do we scope and sequence up that support, and how do we make it very specific to the particular areas, because I think over time we do have to become very skilled at it, and I think it's just a matter of continuing supporting them, providing the workshops, providing the professional learning, because as you can see from this document, the curriculum's there. It's there. It's just a matter of delivering it in the classroom, and it is a level of uncomfortability, but at the same time, we do know that it's not about using DPAC funds to actually support building that capacity.
Follow-up question? I can see it coming.
Again, this may be a bit early. So, when if I were to be approached by someone from DPAC and say, "Oh, you guys did that great report. When do you think we might be spending less on sexual ed?" Do we have an answer for that, or not quite yet? I'm thinking not quite yet. From
it's a
superintendent.
It's a very good question, and I think as you can see from the report, there are still some times that we are going to actually spend some money on the community experts, and I still believe that's very valuable to do.
Yes.
And I think that what we will want to do is certainly move schools from utilizing that support, but I couldn't give you a definitive answer of when we would stop using that, because I still wonder. And I'm going to say this, years ago when we did deliver on the careers or the CAP curricular areas, we did invite in community experts to actually support us. Now, at that time, it probably came free of charge, and so now sometimes these experts are so full of expertise, let's say, that we do need some of that information that is very modern, very contemporary, and is really research driven.
Yeah.
So I don't have the exact answer for you, Trustee Croft, but we would definitely like to move away from that.
We're on the path.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think we've got a staff member.
Who would like to say something?
Just Erica and I are, because we've been working. I think what we're really trying to do is transition away from PACs, hiring them as supplemental, and looking at it more of supporting teachers, so that teachers can building the capacity that way. And so, as far as there should be far less of that starting now. Okay. Oh, thank you.
Can I add? PACs and
Not
DPACs.
unless there's someone from staff, moved by Trustee Hutchins. Is there a seconder? seconded by trustee Doman, and that is to have a person in the audience speak. All those in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you. It's very hard to sit here knowing I have the answer and not be able to say anything. Having been part of the discussions with PAC and with management, DPAC and PACs have already been told that they can say no to a request for funding for supplemental at any time they want. I think what it became a habit for them to pay it. They don't have to. They've been told already they can stop because it is part of the curriculum, and I've given the same message to teachers that you really have to move forward teaching it yourself, but you can use supplemental, but figure out where the funds are coming. It's not an expectation that PAC or DPAC fund it.
Thank you.
Just wanted to say thank you for making the process work for that.
Welcome. Are we finished this topic? Okay, moving back to the superintendent for school fees, item 7.2.4. On school fees and deposit schedule, 2019-2020.
Right, I'm just looking for it. Yes, please. Thank you very much. Must have moved it. All right, so we've looked at these school fees, and there's been really no changes from last year. And so what we want to recommend that the school fees for 2019 and 2020 remain as presented. And like I said, there has been no changes from last year. And shortly I will be talking about the academy fee.
Thank you. Trustee Kimler?
There isn't a supplies fee there. Are we going completely away from schools doing supply kits, or is it a different document, or what's up with that?
Superintendent.
You know, I may have to refer this one to a staff member. Okay, yes, to Jason, around going away completely from school supplies.
Are we going away from supply kits?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
We're trying,
Yes.
we're certainly in the process. We've been
okay.
phasing them out over the last 2 or 3 years to stop buying them with the school district resources. However, we've been exploring some possibilities with some local vendors of having them provide the kits so it's easy for somebody to go in and purchase, but we haven't quite completed that.
Thank you. Follow up?
So we don't have the $25 wouldn't be then the same across the board, like it wouldn't be listed in this, or would it just be, we're hoping they stop?
They should be stopped.
They should be stopped.
Trustee Hutchins? Did you have your hand? No? Okay. Thank you. All right. Any questions on school fees? Okay. Moving on then through board action to 7.3.1 BA courses.
All right, we have 3 courses to present. We have the Wilderness Survival 11. That of course meets all of the requirements around the board authorized authority courses. We also have the Wilderness Survival 12 as well. And we have the RCMP Youth Academy 12. Now, do we want to go through those separately and distinctly, or do we want to look at all 3?
Could you just tell us, the academy has a special context for us? Is it in as an academy, like the hockey academy, or?
No, it's not an irregular academy. The RCMP Youth Academy 12 is actually a BOD course in a regular sense that it is. And I think that one thing I do want to comment around these BOD courses, I was in a conversation with a principal today, and he says that this work around these courses are adding so much relevancy to teachers who are working on these courses around developing the curriculum, looking at the assessment practices, and so it really is an engaging process with our teachers at the schools who are doing them. So I would recommend that we approve all of these board authorized courses of the 3.
There is a board recommendation / motion there. Trustee Hutchins?
So moved. I can't imagine how many kids are going to sign up for these. They'll be happy to have more than one class offered, I imagine.
Thank you. Seconded by Trustee DeGroot. Any further conversation on the motion? Trustee Petrov?
Just regarding the RCMP one, Cowichan Open School, Isn't it Scott Jackson who's principal there? What am I missing? We've got Larry down as the principal of Oakland School.
Scott Jackson would be the principal of Seabold.
Seabold.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I got the two confused. Thank you.
Any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Moving to 7.3.2, Academy fees for 2019-2020. It's on page 45.
All right. Okay, so I think that every annually, a board really looks at the specialty academy fees, and they are being offered at the same rate as they have been in the past. So as you can see, that this must be approved by the Board of Education prior to May the 31st. They have all the additional learning outcomes. We have the minimum hours of instruction, and it is around the Francis Kelsey Hockey Academy.
Thank you. There is a recommended motion at the end of the description. Moved by trustee DeGroot, seconded by trustee Doman. Any conversation on the motion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Moving, thank you.
Thank you.
Superintendent. Moving to secretary treasurer, Mr. Sandquist.
Thank you. I have only one item this evening, and it is a application for a rezoning application in the Cowichan Commons for a cannabis retailer. This is the third one to come before the board in the last 2 months. In this particular case, this location is 350 meters from Drinkwater Elementary School. It's actually right on the property line of Cowichan Commons beside the Island Savings Insurance, so it's right at the trailhead. So that may be significant for the board when providing feedback.
Thank you. Trustee Croft.
The North Cowichan bylaws for 600 meters, is it not?
That's my understanding, but
That they will consult within 600 meters.
Okay. So I wouldn't support this. It doesn't fall within the realm of the bylaw, and if presumably we respond, I would say that we would like to respond that we're not in favor of the rezoning, and we'd like to see North Cowichan follow their bylaw.
Thank you. Was that a motion or a comment?
Can it be a motion? Let's make it a motion.
Moved by trustee Croft. Is there a second? Trustee Kemler. Okay. Further conversation on the motion. But before we go through this, can I just ask, is this the request from Cowichan Tribes, or is it a different one?
No, it's not Cowichan.
It's not Cowichan Tribes. Thank you. Further conversations. Trustee Kemler and then trustee.
So if they go ahead with that, they only have 2 in that mall. Because there's
Secretary Treasurer.
There are 2 proposals that the board have provided comment on for the mall.
Trustee DeGroot.
I'm not sure if I understood correctly, but my understanding was that they had to consult with us if it was within 600 meters. Not that they have a thing that says they have to be 600 meters, is that right?
They have to consult.
So that they would be quite happy if it was at 325. I mean, they could approve it.
And even with our comment, they can't approve it.
that's right.
And we're just commenting. Further conversation. Trustee Campbell, did you have something that you wanted to say? Did I miss you? No. Trustee Hutchins.
So, did we adopt a policy or guidelines regarding the recommended distance from our school facility?
No, we have not developed a policy, but each one of the local governments have developed a bylaw, as I understand it, or a policy, I think bylaw. And within it, they have set the number of meters away from schools and childcare centers. I think those are the 2 links. Anything further on that?
No, just I believe the board recommended in writing to the local governments 600 meters.
But can I just say, you'll see in the agenda that not all local governments took our recommendation. North Cowichan did, as I understand it. The city of Dublin did not, but did say they would consult. Follow up?
I'm just, I support this motion, and I think that we have to reference that letter, because we took a position as to be 600 meetings, but I think we need to have our own, I'm not sure whether it's a bylaw or a policy or something on, so that we're not reacting to, like, it shouldn't be just a letter, it should be actually, as referenced in our policy, we would ask for all jurisdictions to ensure this, such facilities as 600 meters.
Okay, thank you. Can you hang on to that
Yep,
thought
I
while
will.
we deal with the motion on the floor? Trustee Croft.
Just regarding the relationship with Cowichan Tribes, it does say that they are their majority partner with CANA. So Cowichan Tribes, it looks to me, is involved with this kind of
Oh, okay. Thank you. Good. Any further discussion on the motion? Could you read us the motion again, Secretary Treasurer, please?
That the Board of Education respond to North Cowichan that they are not in favor of the rezoning application at, let's get the address. (2951) Green Road.
Thank you. Are we ready for the question? All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Trustee Hutchinson.
I may need help with some staff, but I'd like to move that we request staff to develop, I believe it's a policy regarding the distance that establishment of such facilities be from our facilities.
Thank
Facilities
you.
and facilities.
Moved by Trustee Hutchins, seconder. Trustee Croft. Discussion. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Moving to item 9. Committees and outside organizations. The first is the advisory committee meeting. Trustee Croft.
I'd like to move that the Board of Education receive the summary of the advisory committee meeting that was held Tuesday, January 22nd.
Thank you. Moved by Trustee Croft, seconded by Trustee DeGroot. All those in favor? Motion carries. Moving to item B, the District Parent Advisory Council meeting. I think Trustee Kemmer, you attended that one? Nope. Okay, do we have the trustee who attended February 21st DPAC meeting?
I didn't, but I did the next one, so I'll move it.
Moved by Trustee Hutchins,
Yeah, it was.
seconded by.
Oh, it was me, I'm sorry.
Oh.
That was so long time ago.
Okay, so seconded by Trustee Kemmer. All those in favor? Motion carries. Moving to minutes of the BEBC meeting on March 26th. Trustee Hutchins.
Yes, I'd like to move that the Board of Education, School District number 79, receive the minutes of the March 26, 2019 Board of Education Business Committee meeting.
Moved by Trustee Hutchins, seconded by Trustee DeGroot. All those in favor? Motion carries. Moving to item D, highlights of the April 10th, 2019 DSAC meeting, and I did attend that, so I will move that the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley receives the highlights of the April 10th, 2019 DSAC meeting. Moved by Spilsbury, seconded by Croft. All those in favor? Motion carries. Moving to item E, minutes of the April 11th, 2019 special BEBC meeting. I chaired for Trustee Hutchins, so I will move that the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley receives the minutes of the April 11th, 2019 special Board Education and Business Committee meeting. Moved by Trustee Spilsbury, seconded by Trustee DeGroot. All those in favor? Motion carries. Moving to item F, and this is the EBC April 18th. Back to Trustee Hutchins.
I'd like to move that the Board of Education, School District 79, receive the minutes of the April 18, 2019 Special Board Education and Business Committee meeting.
Moved by Trustee Hutchins, seconded by Trustee Dolman. All those in favor? Motion carries. And moving to item G, Vista AGM report. Trustee Kemmer.
I did give that to Claire, so it was a copy, but just, we attended. It was very good, it was very interesting, the elections and the motions. It was nice to get to know Martin a little better there, and we spent time learning, lots of learning. I've made there's a report for the Vista breakfast meeting, and then I give it to Claire.
Thank you. So moving your report.
I'd like to move my report.
Thank you. Moved by trustee Kemler, seconded by trustee Croft. All those in favor? Motion carries. Moving to the next page, item 10, upcoming meetings and events. So page 70. We have a list of our upcoming meetings. Any comments from anyone? Okay, and moving to the next page is the graduation and year-end events. So I hope you will take the time to get them in your calendars. Once again, June looks very busy. Any comments about anything on the year-end events? Trustee DeGroot.
I know that they can't be changed, but Francis, Kelsey, and Shemanis have the walk-up graduations on the same night, and it's difficult to be the south end of the district and the north end of the district at the same time. So maybe remind them if they could talk to each other before they set their dates, it would be helpful.
So we'll leave that with the superintendent. And please note the year-end barbecue at the bottom there, and hopefully some of you will be cooking. Intent coming. And then our district retirement reception on June the 26th. That late? It is, okay. All right. Anything else on those two plans? Okay. Moving to correspondence. The first is the letter from the city of Duncan through the cannabis retailers, and as I mentioned before, they have in their letter that they are looking at 300 meters. Now, 300 meters of any school, but prior to any consideration of a retail store, they will ask for a comment from us. So any other comments on the letter? So could we have a motion to receive and file the letter from the city of Duncan? Moved by trustee Croft, seconded by trustee DeGroot. All those in favor? Motion carries. Moving to the email from the Financial Input Committee. Committee on Finance and Government Services on page 73. Note that the consultation is to take place in June 2019. I guess our decision is, do we want to provide input to the Select Standing Committee? If so, do we want me to attend or send in something? Trustee Hudgens.
Through you to staff, is it of value?
Okay, staff. Superintendent, Secretary Treasurer.
I know it's a difficult question. Madam Chair, it's I think you can leave them to your hands to. I often find that those, well, I've attended those on other bodies, and I'm not sure if anybody was. I should say, oh, listen. I mean, because it's such a complex issue. But if we have something passionate to champion, and the staff say we've got to correct something, I think we should do it. But they're there just to be there.
Okay, thank you, trustee Croft.
For the last couple of years, we sort of tried to take a lead in getting the community together on homelessness and other vulnerable populations. So, I mean, if you're going to champion anything, maybe, I mean, there are going to be other people there saying great things about education, so maybe we could throw our hat into the ring on that. And again, that would be up to our chair.
Thanks so much. Okay, trustee DeGroot.
After listening to the conversation that we had with chairs and vice chairs around the budget and the budget consultation and the 22 points, I'm not sure that it is worth any more effort when we've got such little information back. It was very clear, at least to me, that not one school district would say, yes, this is great. They were saying, yes, but what does that mean? And I just don't know that I want to do any more. Yes, but what does that mean?
That may have been a conversation related to the funding model review than actually overall budget and finance, but I will take that back to staff and we will sort it out. Meanwhile, can we have a motion to receive and file the email? Oh, Mr.
I think you already did the first motion. It was for both correspondence items.
Oh, okay, that wasn't my intent. However, I'm glad it's done. Okay, moving to item 12, new business. A, violence in the workplace and student mental health. And as you all know, we have been advised by our education partners. We listened to these issues over the last year, if not much longer. And we heard at our last meeting that we as our district are planning to address those issues within the current budget. So I think it's important that we ask staff to see, okay, what is that then? Okay, so if someone would like to move that.
Everybody?
Everybody? Okay. So I saw trustee Cross and trustee Kemmler's hands go up. Any further conversation? All those in favor? Motion carries. Okay, moving to item B, which is Pride Flag, and I'm not sure, but I think I sent you the email on the Pride flag that is going to be flown on Monday at 3:30 at the Duncan City office. All of the local governments, the town of Lake Cowichan, as well, as we don't often hear from them or see them, but they are also included in that. We have all been invited to be there and to speak. I will attend and speak for my allotted minutes on our behalf. In the meantime, I would like to suggest that perhaps we ask for a pride flag to be flown at the school board office as soon as we get the flag, and to the end of June to symbolize our support for diversity and inclusion. So, trustee Croft?
So moved. Do you need a motion?
Yes, okay, so thank you. Moved by trustee Croft, seconded by trustee Hutchins. Any conversation on that motion? All those in favor? Motion carries. And moving to question period.
I have a question today.
There we go, all right.
The question is in regards to the violence in the workplace, and as co-chair of the District Health and Safety Committee, I thank you for this motion, it's great. I just want to know if there's a possibility for partner groups to be involved in some sort of way in helping with this plan. It's come up and been discussed as long as I've been on District Health and Safety Committee, that's 4 years now. And I know all of the partner groups are, keen to see something done and want to participate their perspectives from the ground level. So will there be an opportunity to do that, given there's quite a tight timeline on this, and I recognize that, but I feel it would be important.
Thank you, and thank you for your offer. We have referred it to staff, who is also here, and to hear your willingness to be part of that planning. It seems to me that it has worked or is working well with other plans that have been developed on other topics. So we take that under advisement and pass it to our superintendent. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, motion to adjourn. Trustee DeGroote, Trustee Hutchins, all those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Lots of business done.